Hi, welcome back to week 2 of distance learning in 3rd grade. I am your teacher and host, Mr. Ritenour. If you'd like to make this video bigger, click the YouTube button below. All right, welcome back everyone. I missed you guys over the weekend, but it was nice to be able to get outside and enjoy the nice weather and not have to worry about school. I hope that you felt the same way. So, quick shout out to each and every single one of you and your parents. I think, I can't say with certainty, but I would be willing to bet a lot of money that we were the only class that every single student showed up to school, did their work, turned it in, and passed. So congratulations, woohoo! I'm so excited and so proud of you. Let's keep that rolling into week 2, all right? So I thought we'd kickstart the morning off with a video from last week's gym class, courtesy of Emily and Joseph Popovich.
So we're playing this game where you throw the ball, the other person catches it, then you throw it back to you, and you step back. You keep on repeating that till one person drops the ball. See how he dropped it? So we start over, come closer, and we just keep on repeating that.
All right. Thank you, Popoviches. That was awesome. I love that game, especially when that game is played with water balloons. Um, I think that if you have the time today or later this week to get outside with a brother or sister, or maybe mom or dad, see how many steps you can go away from each other. Um, if you want, you could turn this into a game of catch with a baseball mitt if you have one. This game works for all different types of balls as well. I like that you're using a giant purple ball, Emily and Joseph. That was really cool. Thank you so much for sharing. And if you have a video, folks, feel free to send it to me. Maybe you could get on our daily video lessons just like Emily and Joseph did. Okay, so next thing to say is kind of important. It's about your grades. All right, as I mentioned, everyone passed week 1. All right, good job. Everyone should be passing as long as you're showing up and you have half a brain, you should be passing because these questions that I'm asking you are not super difficult. There might be one or two tricky ones, but for the most part, if you listened and you followed along, they should be pretty obvious, right? All right, so how this works now that we're doing distance learning, possibly for the rest of the school year, is you get a grade that's as simple as pass or fail. All right, so whenever you answer those questions in the Google Forms, if you get a certain number of them correct, you pass. If you miss more than a certain amount, then you fail. But it's not just each day that you pass or fail, it's all the days added together. All right, well, what do I mean by that? Let me show you an example. So I'm going to use Bobby as my example, all right? I hope you don't mind, Bobby. But I'm going to use you because I have your account information already ready to go. All right, so Bobby's been doing awesome. He's been getting his work done every day. He's been turning it in. And he's even sent me some pictures of him working, which I love. So Bobby gets on Google Classroom. This probably looks exactly like yours. He clicks on our class. Now he's in our class. All right, so here's how you check your grades, everyone. You click up here at classwork. All right, so click on classwork. And right up here at the very top, it's kind of hidden, but it says view your work. You can click on that. And Bobby, I chose you for a reason because you didn't miss a single point. Way to go, kid. You can actually see what your grade is on each assignment. I return grades at the end of the week. So everyone has Monday through Friday from last week's grades returned, and it tells you each day what score you've got and then overall what percentage you have. All right, so Bobby got every point right. Good job. And so his overall percentage is 100%. everyone in the class has a passing percentage. In order for you to figure out, am I passing or failing? Ask yourself this. Do I have a 60% or higher? If you do, you pass. If you have below a 60%, then that's a different story, and we'll have a conversation about that because that would be failing. All right. But you can miss 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 questions a week and still probably pass. All right. A 60% is a D minus. That's all you need to pass. Whether or not you get 100% or a 75%, you're still getting the same grade, folks. It's either a pass or fail. All right, so thank you, Bobby, for letting me use you as my example. Good work. Everyone else, keep up the good work because everyone is passing, and that's what I love to see. All right, so one last thing I want to share is a shout out to Doobie. Thank you, Jacob. I got your letter in the mail, which really tickled me. I loved seeing that letter and reading it. And check your mailbox because I wrote you a letter back. So thank you so much. Okay, now let's get to the learning. Let's start off with some common sense. Today's common sense lesson: always make eye contact when listening or speaking to someone. An important common sense lesson today, folks, because whenever somebody is talking, it is rude not to be looking at them. There are exceptions, of course, like in the classroom. If the teacher's talking while you're supposed to be taking notes, then it's okay to be looking down at your paper. But whenever someone's talking to you um, in a setting where you're supposed to be paying close attention to what they're saying, you need to make sure you're looking at them. Occasionally, even saying mm-hmm or nodding along is a polite way of showing the speaker that you are focused. All right? So please make sure when your mom or dad is talking to you, when your brothers and sisters are talking to you, you look them in the eye because it's a respectful, polite thing to do. All right, that's your common sense lesson for today. Let's move on to some Go Math. All right, pause the video if you need to get your book out. We are starting on lesson 12.4, which is page 715. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that review lesson on Friday. It pretty much summarized everything from lessons 12.1, point 2, and point 3. So keep that in the back of your mind as we move forward because today we are describing sides of polygons. So, what's a polygon? Great question. You should already know that answer though. A polygon has two qualities, all right? It's a shape, of course, that has what kind of lines? Curved or straight? What do you think, Jasper? Very good. Straight lines. And open or closed, Evan? Yeah, it has to be closed. If it's open, it's not a polygon. So, we're looking right here. It says, look at the polygon. How many pairs of sides are parallel? Well, we need to know what the word parallel means. I'm going to scroll down on my page here so you can see that there are 3 types of lines. The first, lines that cross or meet are intersecting lines. Sorry, excuse me. Whew. Intersecting lines cross each other. All right, see how these 2 lines cross right here? Kind of reminds me of like 2 arrows or something. And where they cross is called the intersection point. So these 2 lines are intersecting. But guess what? Sometimes 2 lines cross at perfect right angles. You see that? That's called perpendicular lines. I know, right? What a crazy word. Perpendicular. Everyone say that. Perpendicular. And I'll say it 3 times fast. Perpendicular, perpendicular, perpendicular. Whew. That is a big math word. And it's really a big word for a simple thing. Perpendicular means the 2 lines meet at the perfect cross. okay? Just like a plus sign. Perpendicular lines are a type of intersecting line. Now the last type of line, parallel. And if you remember, that was up in our first question that we need to go back and answer. Parallel lines are special. They never, ever cross. All right, they go either straight up and down, sideways, diagonal, but see how they run in the same exact direction? These two lines could go on forever, and they will never, ever cross. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Okay? Perpendicular lines will cross at a right angle. Parallel lines will never cross. And then our intersecting lines, they just cross in any which way you want. All right? They don't have to be special. Those are your three types of lines. Now, back up to our first question. Look at the polygon. How many pairs of parallel sides are there? So a pair means what number? London, how many are in a pair? Think pair of socks. Good. A pair equals 2 of something. So we need to find two lines that are parallel. I see a red and a green. If I were to continue my red line and my green line, are those lines parallel? Are they ever going to touch? Absolutely. In fact, they touch at the perfect right angle, which means those two lines would be considered perpendicular, right? So we know it's not green or red. How about red and yellow? Orange. So my red line could keep going up, 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 up. And my orange line, let me get the orange pen out here. My orange line is going kind of at an angle here. Well, do you see eventually my orange line is going to cross my red line? Eventually, and I'm going to try to draw an arrow up here, those two lines are going to cross at some point. So the red and the orange lines are not parallel. They're actually intersecting. Okay. What about my red and my blue? Well, the red line, if it were to keep going, it would go all the way down forever and ever and ever. And my blue line goes this way forever and ever and ever. Uh-oh, those two lines crossed. In fact, they crossed at the perfect corner. So the blue and the red lines are actually, once again, perpendicular. Okay, so now that we've gone through some of these, let's look at the green and the blue. Because I feel like the green and the blue lines, opposite lines, might be parallel. So if the green line went on forever, it'd look like that. If the blue line went on forever, it'd look like that. Notice these two lines are going in the exact same direction. They will never ever cross. That is why those two lines are parallel. So to answer my question, which two lines are parallel? Well, the blue and the green. So blue and the green. How do I know that those two lines are parallel? Because they will never, ever cross each other. Okay. Now, we could answer the boxes on the right, but we're not. We're just going to move on to the next page, okay? Because I think the more you hear this and the more we practice it together, the more you're going to understand parallel versus perpendicular versus intersecting. All right, so next page it says try this. Draw a polygon with only one pair of parallel sides, then draw a polygon with two pairs of parallel sides. Outline each pair with a different color. So you might not be able to do the different color, but you can make it bold. You know what I mean? Like really push your pencil down. If you do have other colored pencils or pens, now's the time to use them. So let's just draw a polygon with only one pair of parallel sides. All right, I'm going to draw a shape that I know only has one pair of parallel sides, and that is a trapezoid. All right, so dun, 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 let's see. Here's my trapezoid. It only has one pair of parallel sides. Which ones are they? The top and the bottom or the sides? Well, notice the sides eventually will cross, okay, right up here. So those sides are called intersecting lines. That is not what I want. I want parallel. So let me use my purple pen here. See how the top and the bottom of my trapezoid, no matter how far these lines go, they'll never ever touch. So these are parallel, okay? So let me erase the arrows. I don't need that. And I'm just going to, just like you on yours, go ahead and highlight those, make them bold, okay? That's my parallel sides. All right, now it says I need to draw another polygon with two pairs of parallel sides. Well, that's easy. Think about what shape has two pairs of parallel sides. Two pairs means at least 2 times 2, which is 4. Yeah, you've got it. It's a rectangle or a square. I'm going to draw a rectangle though, and I've got a rectangle now on my screen. You should have a rectangle too on your grid paper at home. And I need to show which sides are parallel. So once again, I can use my purple to show that the top and the bottom are parallel. They will never ever touch. These lines will always be that far apart. Kind of like on a road. You know how in the middle of the road there's the yellow lines that run side by side? Those are parallel. But I've got another pair. Let's see. Sophie, do you see the second pair of parallel sides? Yeah, over here, right on the side. If I were to draw this line out even further, I would see it's pretty obvious. These two sides will never, ever touch. So let me clean this picture up so that you can see on your paper, you should have the sides highlighted in the same color as well as the top and the bottom. So this one had two pairs of parallel sides, but this one only had one pair. All right, don't you just love parallel sides? I personally love parallel. They're my favorite. Which sides appear to be parallel? So sorry, I'll leave that question up here in case you still need more time. Number one, which sides appear to be parallel? So appear to be parallel means which ones do we think will always be the same distance apart? Well, what do you think? Let's see. Bobby, what did you get? B and D. I like it, Bobby. So B inside D will always be the same distance apart. See that? It'll be the same distance apart no matter how long these lines go. So that's why we've got B and D. Now, watch this. This is the math symbol for parallel. I'm going to write the letter B because that tells me side B. And then I'm going to draw two lines up and down next to each other like that. That means parallel. So B, two up and down lines. D. That basically in math words, all right? So if I was a math robot, it would be B is parallel to D. That's how that reads, okay? All right, so good job, Bobby. Lucas, you're up. Which other set of sides is parallel? Well, yeah, C and A, right? C looks like this, A looks like this. They are the same distance apart here, here, here. If I were to take these lines forever that way, they would still be the same distance apart. That's why they are parallel, okay? So, whoops, undo. So I've got parallel sides in C and A. Now, Lucas, how am I going to write that, though? Yeah, I'm going to use that symbol. I'm going to write the letter C, two up and down arrows. C is parallel to A. Malfunction. Ah, just kidding. Little robot humor for you this morning. Okay, moving on. Look at the green sides. If they appear to be intersecting, perpendicular, or parallel, write all the words to describe the sides. Okay, so look at the green sides in that first, whoops, in that first shape in number 2. Okay, first of all, that shape is called, literally called, a parallelogram. It's a four-sided shape, which is known as a, what do you think, Bettina? Four sides is a good quadrilateral. So this quadrilateral is called a parallelogram because it's got parallel sides. So the green sides, notice the green sides will always be apart. They will never cross ever. That means that they are, you guessed it, parallel. Now, the easiest way to remember how to spell parallel, para, and then just like that parallel symbol, you've got two L's. Do you see it? See how this symbol looks a lot like that symbol for parallel? And then EL. Okay, parallel sides. Number 3. Look at these sides. They are definitely not what? They're definitely not parallel, right? So are they intersecting or perpendicular? Do they meet at a nice right angle? Well, I don't think so. Those angles look a little bit fat and a little bit skinny, right? They're not right angles at all. So that leaves me one option. Intersecting. These are intersecting lines. Okay. Number 4. Look at these lines. They meet at a perfect corner or a right angle. Okay, you could even draw it down here if you wanted to. When two lines cross, they're intersecting. But there's a better name for it. Not only are they intersecting, but they are specifically perpendicular. That is perpendiculous. That's my lame geometry humor. All right, so I'll give you some time here to write that down. Those are two big words here, intersecting and perpendicular. If you want, you can abbreviate it. You can write IP. Did you get my potty humor? IP. Okay, gross, Mr. R. Stop distracting me from my learning. All right, I apologize. On your own, look at the green sides. Tell me, once again, intersecting, perpendicular, parallel, or more than one of those. So, Cody, we're on to you, all right? We've got that. This hexagon right here, this shape in number 5, is the same exact shape that I couldn't figure out last week that my wife had to come help me. What do we call these green sides that will never ever, see how they're across from each other? They'll never ever touch, Cody. Well done. They are parallel. Good work, Osborne. Fishy, you're up. Number 6, a rectangle. Look at this corner right here. These lines meet at a right angle, Peyton. So they have two names. First, they're good fish. They're intersecting because they cross. but their second name, because they cross at a right angle, is, good work, Peyton. They are also perpendicular. So if you haven't figured this out, anytime your answer is perpendicular, you're also going to have another answer, which is intersecting. Okay? All right, number 7. Let's look closely at this shape. It's got 5 sides. Doobie? Good, it's a pentagon. And these lines, if you want, you can even use your pencil on your book here to like do what I'm doing. They look like they're it's close to being a right angle, but we know that it's not a right angle, right? These sides right here, the blue ones are small, they're acute, and the red ones are chunky monkey. They are obtuse. So Doobie, what do we call the general name for lines that cross each other that aren't perfect right angles? Intersecting. Good job, Jacob. Intersecting lines. All right. Are you getting tired of writing the word intersecting yet? Yeah, I know, me too. All right, next page. Use pattern blocks. Well, we don't actually have pattern blocks in front of us unless some reason you do at home. That'd be really cool. Maybe your mom's like a preschool teacher or something. That would be awesome. But if you don't have them, you can still look at the picture on your book or on my screen to help. So Chelsea, she wants to sort these pattern blocks by the types of sides. Which blocks have intersecting sides? So, which blocks have intersecting sides? Well, right off the bat, I know that every single shape has some type of corner. So every single shape has to have at least one or two intersecting sides. All right. So which blocks have them? Well, that would be A, B, C, D, E. So you could just write all of them. Okay. Number 9, which ones have parallel sides? Well, that's a totally different question. If you look at shape A, do you see the top and the bottom? These are parallel, right? I don't have to find all of them. I could if I wanted. I could do these two. I could do these two. I could find all of them if I wanted, but as soon as I find one, I know that that's an answer. Okay, that's shape. So I'm going to write A. All right, how about B? Is there a parallel side with the top? No. How about with this side right here? Is there a side that runs parallel to it? It would have to be like over here. The answer is no. How about over here? Once again, nada. So B is not a shape that has a parallel side. What about C? Well, the top and the bottom are parallel, and the sides are parallel. So C has to go on our list. So A, comma, C. How about D? Top and the bottom are parallel. The other sides are not. See how if you were to keep going, they would cross right here. So D is on our list though, because it has at least one. And how about E? Last one. Well, E, just looking at it, is pretty obvious. These two sides are parallel, and how about these two sides are parallel as well? So E needs to go on our list. Every shape except for B had at least one set of parallel sides. All right, number 10. Which blocks have perpendicular sides? So I'm going to erase all the drawings here. Perpendicular means that they have to cross at a right angle, like that. So do I have any corners that are, maybe it would help if I drew it better. Do I have any corners that are right angles? Uh-huh. I've got, there's a corner right there that's a right angle. So E goes on my list. That's definitely not, and that's not, which means these two are not. So D is not going to be on my list. We'll look at B. Those are little baby acute corners, so those are not right angle corners. C, I've got two fat ones and two skinny ones. And A, I've got all the sides are fat sides, right? Fat, fat, fat. And by fat, I mean obtuse. So there's really only one shape that has perpendicular sides, and that would be a square, shape E. Number 11, it says which ones have neither parallel nor perpendicular sides. So neither parallel nor perpendicular. So, well, the only the only um, the only option that did not have parallel was B. So did B have perpendicular? No. So there's only one block that has neither, and that would be block B. All right. Triangles typically do not have any parallel sides. Sometimes you'd see a triangle that looks like this. This is called a right triangle, and it would have one set of perpendicular right here. See that? It's a right angle, so that would be a perpendicular intersection point. But our triangle, it was not a right triangle. Okay, number 12. On the box at the right, how many pairs of edges are perpendicular line segments? Well, look at that. Every single corner is going to be perpendicular. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could keep counting all of them, or I could do a multiplication sentence. I'm going to do 4 times the number of sides. Okay, so I've got this side, that's side 1, side 2, side 3 on the back, side 4 on this side, and on the very bottom of this box, I've got side 5. Okay, now I'm assuming they only mean the outside of the box. So if we were to take 4 on each side and know that there's 5 faces, multiply 4 times 5, and what do you get, Emily? 20. Very good. So how many pairs of edges are perpendicular? Well, 20 pairs. Nice. Okay, 13 we're going to skip because we don't have enough time. 14 we're going to skip because we don't have enough time. And let's look at number 15. Which shapes have at least one pair of parallel sides? Mark all that apply. How about A? What do you think? Willow? Yeah, good work, Willow. I would say A because look, the sides are parallel. Top and the bottom are actually parallel. So that one has 2 sets. How about B? What do you think, Michael? Good, Michael. B has the same amount as A. You got top and bottom, side and side are both parallel. How about C, Carson? Yeah, that's a big no, right? These ones are perpendicular and all the rest are intersecting. So intersecting, intersecting, perpendicular. There's no parallel sides, so C is not good. And that leaves me with Wiley. You got the last question on this page. Is there any perpendicular sides for that hexagon? Yeah, you've got every single opposite side is perpendicular. So top and the bottom, left and the right, right and the left, they're all, try not to be too messy here, they're all parallel. So you've got 3 pairs of parallel sides. So every single one but C was correct. And that brings us to our practice and homework page. I like that we're getting a lot of repetition here. The best way to learn is to practice. So let's practice. We're going to look at the dotted lines and we need to say, are they intersecting? Are they perpendicular? Or are they parallel? write all the words that describe the sides. So I'm going to get rid of that part just to save us some time. You either pick intersecting, perpendicular, or parallel. Which one best fits? So number 2, Jasper. Those dotted lines meet at the perfect corner, which makes that, good work, Jasper, perpendicular. Oh my goodness, that barely fits. I need to write smaller. Okay, number 3, Evan. These two lines meet at an acute angle, so they must be good. They're intersecting lines. Good job, Mr. King. Number 4, London. These two lines also meet at an acute angle, just like number 3. They are, yeah, intersecting. INT works for me. Number 5, Sophie. These two lines meet right up here in this perfect corner called a right angle, so they are good, perpendicular. PER dot works, Sophie, good job. And número 6, Bobby, Roberto. We've got opposite sides that will never touch. Those are called parallel. PAR dot works for me. On par, very good. All right, number 7, which ones have parallel sides? Well, we kind of did this earlier. Which ones have parallel sides? Lucas, does A have parallel sides? Good, it does. See? Patina, does B have parallel sides? Nope. Cody, does C have parallel sides? Yep, good job. And Fish, does D have parallel sides? Top and bottom, good. So A, C, D, and then if you want for fun, you can really lightly write C, just for music reference, AC/DC, because that's hilarious. All right. Number 8, which shapes have perpendicular sides? Well, we're looking for shapes that have corners of right angles. So where did I leave off with? Doobie. Shape A, does it have right angle corners? No, right? All my vertices, which is a fancy word for corner, are obtuse, so A is out of the game. How about B? What do you think, Emily? Do I have a perfect corner? Yeah, I do, right down there. B, add it to my list. How about C, Willow? Yeah, Mr. R, they're all 4 perfect corners. So definitely add C to our list. And Michael, you've got the last one, D. Is there any perfect corners? Nope. B is not on our list. So B and C are the only perpendicular sides. We're not going to do number 9, which leaves us to your practice side, your homework side. I want you to pause the video now, answer those questions on your own. No cheating, no peeking. Do your best. Whenever you're all done, unpause the video and you can check your answers. All right, in 3, 2, 1. There you go. Feel free to pause this screen so you can check to see if you've got them right. Once you've checked over your answers, go take a break. We've been working for 40 minutes, all right? Take a break. I need a break too. And whenever you come back, um, all you need is a pencil and paper if you'd like to take some notes, all right? All right, folks, welcome back. We are going to switch gears now into reading. We're going to do 2 things at once. We're going to look at the Storytown book so that we're meeting the 3rd grade requirements. And then we're going to do some Mr. R created stuff. which I think is more fun. So let's jump straight to the Storytown book. All right, so you don't have your Storytown books, but that's okay because I've got the online version right in front of you. This week, it's all about making inferences. So, authors do not tell readers every single detail about a story, right? They don't just come out and tell you everything. That would spoil the story and the fun. Readers need to figure out things for themselves. When readers use what they know to make guesses or to better understand what's happening, we call that making an, good job, making an inference. All right, so let's look at this quick story up here about Margot. She looks like a spider. Margot, a trapdoor spider, dug a hole in the earth and spun silk to make her burrow comfortable. The next morning, she watched her neighbor creep out of his burrow. His door was covered with gravel. "What are you doing?" she asked him. Your turn. Popcorn you. "Your door is hard to see," Margot said. Popcorn you. All right, so let's see. Who's up? Carson, you're up. What the author tells me is what? Good. Margot's neighbor is looking for breakfast. What do I already know about spiders, Carson? Spiders eat insects. So, Wiley, what can you infer about this situation? Yeah, that Margot wants to make her net or her door hard to see because she wants to catch prey, and no prey is going to willingly walk into something as obvious as a spider hole. So you're able to infer, because you know that spiders eat insects, that she's trying to make some kind of trap for the insect. All right. Now, this example from your Storytown book is not as fun, I don't think, as what I made. Oftentimes, we infer emotions. If you were to look at this cute little puppy, I think it's like a Pomeranian maybe, what can you infer about this puppy's emotions? It's feeling very, yeah, it's feeling very sad. If you saw a face like that on your brother or sister, you can probably infer that they're not feeling very happy either. How about the cat? What can you infer? It feels very what? Yeah, hungry. You don't actually know that that cat feels hungry, right? You can't read its mind, but look at it. Here's the big clue. It's standing next to a bowl and it's looking up at you saying, "Please feed me." All right, with its eyes, you can infer that it's hungry. Sometimes your parents can infer that you're hungry because your eyes look like that too. All right, let's look at a common situation and you tell me what you can infer. So, your best friend was really quiet yesterday and didn't come to school today. What can you infer about your best friend? Well, to make this more fun, I'm going to roll the dice. Whichever it lands on, that group, I want you to answer, okay? So, hopefully you remember what table you sat at. Oh, of course, wild card. The first one, we'll do an all play. What can you infer about the best friend? Nice job. That the best friend is probably either sick and at home from school. If you're really quiet, usually that happens whenever you're sick and didn't come to school. All right. So that would be the best inference, I think, is that your friend is sick or really upset. Or maybe, I guess you could say that maybe a family member passed away, all right? A death in the family. You could probably infer that if you know that they're not sick. Good inferencing. Number two, when I woke up, there were branches and leaves all over the yard. What can you infer happened last night? And let's roll the dice. Monsters. So monsters would be Cody, Bobby, and Jacob. What can you infer, you three boys? Yeah, a big storm happened. See, that's the key is branches and leaves were all over the yard. That only happens whenever there's a storm or maybe a tornado. Okay, so good job inferencing monsters, and good job to the rest of you for making that inference on your own as well. All right, so now that we've done our reading lesson for today, if you need to take another little break, go for it. If not, we're going to switch gears to science. So throughout the day, or throughout the week, I mean, we are going to be doing a virtual field trip to one of my favorite places, the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Now, Monterey Bay is in California, and it's right up on the Pacific Ocean. The aquarium is world renowned. It is just one of the coolest places I've ever been. There are all kinds of different wildlife, marine wildlife, and right now you can go onto Monterey Bay Aquarium's website and they have live webcams of all their exhibits. So you can see penguins, you can see jellyfish. It's really cool. We were doing that as a family yesterday. Campbell loved it. Um, but I'm going to do one of their educational resources with you. It's called What Does a Zoologist Do? So we're going to learn about a zoologist. For those of you that don't know, a zoologist is someone who studies animals. Let's take a look here and meet some zoologists. So we're just going to watch this video. You don't need to write anything down. This is Dr. Tyrone Hayes. He works with frogs. He's what we call a herpetologist.
Let's go! My name is Tyrone. I'm a professor of integrative biology at the University of California, Berkeley. In particular, I'm interested in amphibians or frogs. So this is a plains leopard frog. This is one of the parents of many of the tadpoles. My work primarily we expose tadpoles because we're looking at development. And I'm interested in how hormones are involved in their ability to adapt to changes in the environment. But the whole goal of the lab is to go, if you're exposed to this chemical at this temperature, what gene gets turned on and off? How does that affect that individual? How does that affect that population? How does that affect the evolution and ecology of that species?
Aren't you a big cutie?
Most scientists would agree now that we're seeing an accelerated decline in amphibian populations. There are over 4,000 species of frogs, and of those, 2% have gone extinct just in the last few years. 43% are endangered or threatened. Those kinds of numbers have made scientists realize that something's going wrong in the environment. People have talked about changes in weather patterns. People have talked about invasive or introduced species. There's a role for pesticides in the declines. People should also understand and take that as an indication because we live in this environment and need many of the same things in this environment as amphibians do. If the water quality is so bad that a tadpole can't grow in it, how can we accept that water quality as our drinking water? And I knew what I loved and what I wanted to do from very early on, but I don't think it was defined until much later. I spent a lot of time outdoors, spent a lot of time in swamps around my house. I've always been interested in frogs, well, reptiles and amphibians in general, and have always been interested in particular in how environment affects their growth and development. This is a book that my mother sent to me. She sent to me to give to my son. But you can see I've been selfish. I've kept it for myself. I have copied parts of the book and used it in my talks because there are some key things in here when they describe the difference between a mom and a pop frog. My father used to say, always do everything your best, or don't waste your time. Do something else that they're going to put your best into. It's things like that that I think are the basis for not just academics, but for anything that you're going to do. You know, that do something you're going to be proud of.
All right, so I love what Dr. Tyrone said there at the end. Always do your best, or else you're just wasting your time, right? I totally agree, and I think he had a lot of great nuggets of wisdom there. Notice that at a young age, he was really interested in being outside. Well, maybe that's you. Maybe you really like being outside. Maybe you like to explore the swamps and the creeks and the ponds around your house. If that's you, maybe you might want to consider being a herpetologist or some kind of zoologist, someone who studies animals, maybe like amphibians or reptiles. All right, now let's watch a video about Erin Gillum. She studies bats.
I'm Erin Gillum, and I'm a bat biologist. Every morning I wake up, play with my dog Emma, drop it, and then go out into the field. The goal of my project is to see how these machines we have called the virtual bats affect the mating and egg-laying behavior of moths. The idea is that the virtual bat pumps out fake bat echolocation, and these moths have evolved the ability to detect this bat sonar. And when they hear it, they freak out. They don't want to be in the area because they know they're going to get eaten, because the bats love to eat these moths. Yummy. That's the virtual bat. Now we're going to check the area for insect eggs to see if the virtual bat did its job. So Rachel, my field assistant, and I come out here into the cotton field, and we pick 25 plants at random and search them for insect eggs. There's an egg. What we're looking to see is if there's a difference in the number of eggs laid in plots that have the virtual bat versus plots that do not have the virtual bat. Next stop, the pheromone traps, where we're going to see if we caught any male moths last night. The pheromone traps have a synthetic pheromone lure that hangs off of them, and when a male moth smells that pheromone lure, he thinks it's a female. The moth becomes trapped in the canister that's on top. We have 6 plots of this experiment, and 3 of them have the virtual bat, and 3 of them do not. This is to see if there's an effect of the virtual bat on the mating activity. I really love my work. This is a really neat system to work in with so many of the bats and so many of the moths. It's really unique. When you're young, there are little experiments that you can do and test to see what's going on. And you could even just do them in your backyard. And I just thought that was always a neat thing to be able to kind of investigate what was going on around you.
All right, so Erin is in particular, she is a bat biologist, which is just a type of a zoologist. And I thought it was really cool how she's always loved animals, and that kind of led her into what she does now for a living. And she gets paid to research bats, and she even gets to work in her own fields. So really cool. I hope that you enjoyed learning about those 2 zoologists. And tomorrow we will, hopefully tomorrow, if not Wednesday, we will look at some different aquatic zoology fields like sea stars and hermit crabs and snails and some other cool stuff like that as well. Okay, so that brings us to our last lesson for today, and that is grammar simple solutions. So if you could get out your books to page 109, we are going to do that together as a class family. Okay, so oh yeah, I forgot to ask my final question earlier in reading. When you use clues from what you've read to make an educated guess about something or someone, you are making an inference. All right, good job. So now we can start our grammar simple solutions. Number 1, some common prepositions are near, past, under, until, up, and with. Choose the preposition in each sentence. All right, so prepositions, they are direction words. So I cannot wait until my birthday. So usually prepositions come after verbs. In this case, the verb is wait. So the word that comes after it is until. Until is the preposition. Joyce loves ice cream with hot fudge. So, in this case, the word that comes after my verb is ice cream. We know that that's a noun. But what about after our noun? With. That is a direction word. It's even in the directions. With is a preposition. Good work. Number 2, what does the underlined word mean? Babysitters can have trouble with unruly children. Well, look at this kid. He looks very guilty. So, misbehaving, agreeable, or fun? Misbehaving. Número 3, underline the adverb that tells us when. So which word tells us when? We buy that magazine often. Good work, boys and girls. Often tells us when. Choose the correct form of the verb. Use the verb throw. So let's just make a list here. Throw, past tense is threw. Throw or throws is present tense. In future tense, you always add this little word at the beginning, will throw. So which one of these 3 fits? Sam, blank the ball into the window. Let's see. Throw would become Sam throw the ball into the window. Sam throws the ball. Throws. All right, I won't blank the ball unless we go to the field. I won't throw or throws. Good, let's just leave it at that. I won't throw the ball. Number 5, suffixes have, or suffixes are endings like er, est, ful, and les. So which one means without? Less. Which one means full of? Full, ful. Notice there's not a second L though in ful at the end. Which one means more? Stronger would be more, ends in er. And the most would be the strongest, which ends in est. All right, I've got a spider web there. Next, number 6, draw a line to match the underlined expression with its meaning. My cousin is knee-high to a grasshopper. What do you think? What do you think, girls? If you're knee-high to a grasshopper, you are very short. Oh, I'm sorry. The counselor told everyone to hit the hay. Boys, if you're hitting the hay, you are going to bed. And everybody in the class, I'm going to be in the doghouse for that comment on my distance learning. Yeah, you're all in the doghouse with me right now. Just kidding. Number 7, an antecedent takes the place of a pronoun. So the word book gets replaced by the pronoun it. So Paul washed the car and waxed it. So it is the pronoun and it's being replaced. It's replacing the word car. All right, 3 questions left and we're all done for the day. Use a conjunction to connect the words in each sentence. Remember to brush, blank, floss your teeth. So which conjunction? Or, but, so, and. Which one makes the most sense, girls? Remember to brush and floss your teeth. Good job, girls. Boys, which one's the future tense verb? I will follow you through the forest. Will follow. It's all, you need to include the whole thing. That tells me that it's the future. Last question. Everyone can answer the last question. Where does the commas and the quotation marks go? Dad said, well, I know he's about to start talking, so I need a comma. Looks like it might rain today. Some quotes go around what Dad's saying. It looks like it might rain today. You had better take your umbrella, warned Mom. So Mom isn't saying warned Mom, right? So the comma goes right at the end of what she's saying. You'd better take your umbrella. And the quotes go around that as well. So does this quote right here at the end go before or after the comma? Always goes after the punctuation. Good work. All right, you can close your books. Well done today. It was a very jam-packed day, and I appreciate your time and your patience. Don't forget to fill out the rest of this Google form and submit that before the end of the day. Of course, all work is due by Friday at 11:59 this week. All right, boys and girls. Remember, if you want to get on the daily lessons, you are more than welcome to send me videos of what you're doing as long as they're um, less than a minute. That would be ideal. So I miss you. I love you. Mr. R is officially out.